Hey guys, Willie James here from Dreamhouse Music. Want to do Never Would Have Made It, but a little bit more intermediate. So I'm going to listen to the a cappella version in C. It's in C. And then we'll go through the changes. So you should know your diatonic chords at a minimum. If you don't know what those are, look in the description below for a link to my course. Okay, so let's give it a play.
I never would have made it. No, I never would have made it. I would have lost my mind a long time ago if it had not been for you. I'm stronger. I'm wiser. Now I'm better. So much better. I made it through my storm and my test because you were there to carry me through my mess. I'm stronger. I'm wiser. I'm better. Anybody better? I can stand here and tell you I made it. Anybody out there? You made it. I'm stronger.
Okay, so that's it. It was a little difficult without hearing the beat and stuff, but those are the chords, right? So what do we have? We're in C, so you should know your diatonic chords. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 at a minimum. Even the seventh chords, seventh diatonic chords. Again, if you don't know what those are, grab the quick start course in the link in the bottom. Okay, those are the 7 chords. So the 1 chord is a C. Now the basic C chord is C, E, G. That's the 1 chord. But there's different ways to dress it, right? So you could, with your left hand, just do the 1 and the 5. Okay, when I say 1 and the 5, the C chord, the 1 chord, is always the 1, the 3, and the 5 from the scale, right? All chords are built from the scale. C is the 1, E is 3, G is 5. So 1 and the 5 in the left. You could do some other things. You could add the 2 as well. This is called the C add 2, so you add that D in there. Or you could omit the 3 and just keep the 2, which is the D. That creates a sus2. Now I could make my left hand a little bit bigger by doing this. I could drop my C down an octave lower. I could add my G here, and I could do a D, so C, G, D. Makes my chord more full in the left hand. So that's a 1, a 5, and a 9, right? And that's from the C scale, right? C is 1, G is 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 is D. And then we could do whatever chord we want in the right hand. We could do this, we could do this, we could do this. We could double up on the G. This is one of my favorite gospel voicings. You take the C, D, G, which is the 1, 2, 5, and then you just double the G up here, down here. All right. Now instead of C, G, D, you could also do C, G, E, which is what I call a stretch 10. Okay. So C is 8, D is 9, E is 10. Now most people can't reach, so if you can't reach, you could roll the chord and hold your sustain pedal. So you could go never would have, right? Another thing I like to do is I like to do this voicing here. So let's go back to our 1, 2, 5 voicing, my favorite. I like to add the 7, which is the B. That's from the scale. 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I'm now adding that B. Never. Instead of the 7, you could also add the 6, which is an A. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I'm doing the 6, the 2, and the 5. And then my left hand chord to make it nice and full. And I roll it. And I use my sustain pedal, right? Never would have. Okay, so now we're gonna go to the 7. Well, let's talk about the chord progressions. It's 1, never would have, 7, 3, 6, never would have, that's the 2, 5 to the 1 to the 4, right? I would have 3 to the 6. But 2 to the 3 to the 4 to the 6, 7, 1. Okay, so you should know the basic chord progression structure. Okay, so I just went over that quickly, but you could slow the video down, pause, write it out, memorize it, right? So the next chord was a 7. So we did the 1. The 7 chord is the beginning of the 7-3-6, a staple gospel progression movement that you want to learn. So the 7 chord, well, what is it? Well, it's this chord here. The diatonic is B, D, F, A, 7, 2, 4, and 6. It's called a B half diminished, okay? So a B diminished would be this, half diminished, we raise that A flat to an A. Another way I look at this chord is just really a 7 chord, a 2 chord, D, F, A, that's a 2 diatonic, in C over the B. But these top 3 notes are inverted with the F on top. So if we want to put the F on top, we got to invert again. Okay? And then we're going to add a major third from this B. Okay, this is intermediate, so I'm assuming you know your intervals. Okay, so a major third from B is D sharp. In the B scale, 1, 2, 3, D sharp is the 3. So it adds that crunch. The crunch comes from this D sharp and the A flat, or E flat and A, sorry. This is a tritone, okay? And this chord is basically B, D sharp, A, which is a B dominant 7, okay? All right, so that's that gospel crunchy sound, that dominant 7. Okay, this is a dominant 7 chord. Here's the 1, the 3, we're omitting the 5, F sharp, and here's the flat 7, A. All right, so but I look at this chord as just a 2 diatonic chord, D minor, over a B major triad. Sorry, B major interval. All right, so that's all that is. And you could make this even bigger. You could drop this B down here and make it even. So I'm using my sustain pedal, so the timing for that is I never would've. See, I can't reach this B and D sharp, so I just hit the D minor with the B, hold my sustain pedal, and then move my hand to that D sharp. So I never would have won, ba ba ba. Right, nice, and it just sounds nice and full. Or maybe if your hands were big enough, you could hold the D sharp with your thumb, but that's hard to play. So, okay, and then you use your gospel trill, right? So with this A, D, F in the right hand, I can trill from the D flat or the C. So never would have, right? That's that gospel movement, right? To have that gospel sound. Okay. The next chord is our 3 chord. So remember, the first 2 chords the first progression is 1, 7, 3, 6. So we're on the 3 now, which is going to go to the 6. So the 3 is another dominant chord. It's E major. Well, it's an E dominant 7, which is basically an E major triad with the flat 7. What does the flat 7 mean? Well, the chord starts with an E. So we're using the E scale to build this chord. In the E scale, that's why you got to know your scales. Okay, in the E scale, the 7 is D sharp. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're not playing a D sharp, we're playing a D, which is basically a flat 7 or dominant 7. But we're going to alter this chord, okay? How we're going to do that? Alter the chord means just change the notes by raising them or lowering them. So we're going to raise the 5th. Okay, why is the B the 5th? Well, remember, this is the E major scale. Every chord that you build, you're building it using the framework of the root note. So the scale of the root note. So the root note is E. So in my brain, I'm building this chord with the E scale. But I'm also altering the note. We altered the D sharp to a D to make it a dominant 7. And we're going to raise this B to a C. And that's called a sharp 5. Or augmented chord, right? So it creates this nice sound, right? And we're going to do more. We're going to play a sharp 9. Okay, what is a sharp 9? Well, in the E scale, F sharp is 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. But we're not going to play that. We're going to play a G. Okay, so the notes are in this 3 chord. Okay, very typical gospel chord on the 3. Okay, so how did we get here? It's an, well, you could say the 3. Well, if you're gonna say the diatonic 3 is an E minor, but that's not what we're playing. Okay, we're playing a dominant chord, which is the E major triad with a flat 7. That's what a dominant 7 is. We altered 2 more notes. We moved the B to a C, and we moved the F sharp to a G. Okay? All right? So you get this chord. And the way I see this chord too, it's almost like a C major over an E major interval. That's how I visualize it, right? But the theory behind it is it's an E dominant 7 with the raised 5th and the raised 9. So sharp 9, sharp 5. Okay? And that's what it is. Now you have got to figure out a way to voice this chord. So this would be the basic chord to play, but I like to drop this E lower. Maybe I'll play the 5 down here, or maybe I'll repeat the C in my left hand, or I'll repeat the D, or I could do both to make it nice and full. So it depends on your skill level, whatever you're comfortable with. So here we go. 1, never would have 7 to the 3 chord. Very juicy. Now this 3 chord is going to resolve into the 6 chord, which is an A minor. This is the diatonic 6 in the key of C. Okay, so it's an A minor 7. It's an A minor triad with a flat 7 as well. Why flat 7? The G is a flat 7 from A because in the A scale, remember every chord, the framework is the scale of the root note. So A is the root note. So all the chord is built from the notes in the scale. All right, I'm getting tongue twisted. But anyways, a natural 7th is a G sharp, right? But we're not playing that. We're playing a natural G. And you could also add more notes to extend the chord. So you could go G, A, B. Okay, which is basically the 9. Okay, A to A is 8, so B would be 9. Okay, remember we're referencing the A scale, so A is our 1 in this temporary moment in time, even though we're in the key of C. Okay, we're using the framework of the scale of the root note. Okay, so we have A minor 9 basically, and yeah, so this is the chord in root position, but we're gonna voice it differently, meaning we're gonna move the notes around. So for this, let's see. I'm gonna take the C and E and leave it out. I'm gonna move the C here, which was down here, and I'm gonna put the G up here for this voicing. One of my favorite voicings. You could even keep the E as well. Okay, you could keep the E up here as well. Okay, see how I'm moving the notes around? So you got to be able to visualize all the notes in the chord moving up and down. Now you could invert this by putting the B on top, so it gives us like a C major 7th over a dominant 7. And this has a more brighter sound with that B on top, which is the 9. So, well, never would have made it. Here we go. Ooh, very nice. Just nice and bright and open, and I'm rolling the chord, right? On this C here, you could actually use your thumb and play a B and C. Right? So you gotta figure out how to do that. So if you look at my hands there, you know, I gotta really use my finger strength to pull off this chord. You could use your sustain pedal as well. So that's the 6th chord. Very nice. So I never would have 7 to the 3 chord to the 6. Now we're gonna go 6. Now we're gonna go to a 2. Okay? So remember the chord progression structure. The framework is 1, never would have 7, 3, 6. Now we're gonna go to the 2. So the 2 is another dominant chord, and this is the chord here. So diatonic 2 is a D minor 7th. But that's not what we want. We want a dominant chord. And how we do that? We raise this F to an F sharp. So we have a D major triad with a flat 7 C. Why is it flat 7? As I said, yes, we're in the key of C, but every chord is built on the scale of the root. So the root is D, so we're using the D scale as our reference. So D, which is the 1, F sharp is 3, A is 5, C is a flat 7 because the natural 7th in the D major scale is C sharp. So we drop that C down a semitone. Okay, and how do we voice this chord? We actually extend the chord. So when we say extend the chord, we add more notes going up the scale. So chords are built in the skip a note method or in threes, right? So D to F sharp is 3, F sharp to A is 3, A to C is 3 steps, 1, 2, 3, and we could go up the D scale again, 1, 2, 3. All right, we're using the flat 7 here, but 1, 2, 3 is an E, and E is the 9, okay, in the D scale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So what we have is a D9.